The collection of Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck, mother of Queen Mary, was filled with remarkable jewels, many of which have found their way into the British royal family's collection. Some of these pieces have been passed down for generations and are still in use today by prominent members of the royal family. From the fascinating and scandalous history of the Cambridge emeralds to the timeless elegance of the Teck turquoise tiara, these jewels have not only survived but have become symbols of royal heritage and continuity. In this video, we'll explore the incredible journey of these historic treasures, uncovering the stories behind the jewels that began with Princess Mary Adelaide and continue to shine in the royal family today. Before we begin, please support my channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. The Cambridge emeralds, with their fascinating and somewhat scandalous history, hold a special place in the British royal jewelry collection. Their journey began in the early 19th century when Princess Augusta, Duchess of Cambridge, bought raffle tickets for a charity lottery in Frankfurt. To her surprise, she won a small box filled with around 40 cabochon emeralds, both round and pear-shaped. These stunning stones became known as the Cambridge emeralds. Augusta had some of the emeralds made into a necklace and earrings. Upon her death in 1889, her youngest daughter, Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck, inherited the emeralds. Mary Adelaide used 2 of the stones to embellish a diamond stomacher, but kept the necklace and earrings intact. When Mary Adelaide passed in 1897, the emeralds surprisingly went to her son, Prince Francis of Teck, rather than her daughter, Queen Mary. Francis caused a stir by leaving the emeralds to his mistress, Nellie, Countess of Kilmorey. His sister, Queen Mary, was horrified at the thought of losing the family heirlooms to someone outside the royal circle. Determined to reclaim the emeralds, Mary negotiated with Nellie through her brothers and eventually bought back the gems for £10,000. With the Cambridge emeralds back in royal hands, Queen Mary transformed them into one of the most iconic parures of the 20th century. For her coronation in India at the Delhi Durbar in 1911, she had Garrard create a suite of jewels, incorporating the emeralds into a tiara, necklace, stomacher, earrings, and brooches. The tiara originally featured 10 pear-shaped Cambridge emeralds set atop a row of diamonds, while the necklace, earrings, and stomacher were also adorned with the gems. Queen Mary didn't stop there. In 1924, she purchased the Vladimir tiara from the daughter of Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna of Russia and modified it to be worn with the Cambridge emeralds. Following Queen Mary's death in 1953, the Cambridge emeralds were inherited by Queen Elizabeth II, who has worn them frequently throughout her reign. She often pairs the emeralds with the Vladimir tiara or other parts of the Delhi Durbar parure, keeping the legacy of her grandmother alive. The Teck Crescent tiara is one of the more mysterious pieces in the royal collection, as it hasn't been seen in public since the early 20th century. This tiara, composed of 20 diamond crescents and 3 roses, has deep roots in the family's history. Its first owner was Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck, the mother of Queen Mary of Teck. The jewels for the tiara were inherited from her godmother and aunt, Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester, daughter of King George III. By combining these heirlooms, Mary Adelaide created a unique headpiece that became her trusted companion at important royal events, including weddings and formal receptions. Among the most notable appearances were her daughter May's wedding to the Duke of York in 1893 and the wedding of Prince Karl of Denmark to Princess Maud of Wales in 1896. At that time, the tiara was closely associated with the Duchess of Teck's image, and she often paired it with other family jewels, such as the famous Cambridge emeralds. After Mary Adelaide's death in 1897, the tiara was passed to her son, Prince Adolphus, who later became Marquis of Cambridge. His wife, Margaret, wore the tiara, for example, at the coronation of George V in 1911. As with many family heirlooms, the tiara eventually found its way into the hands of Queen Mary, although for reasons unknown, she rarely appeared in public with it, preferring other pieces from her extensive collection. However, The tiara made a brief return to public life thanks to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who wore it at a banquet at Guildhall and during the royal tour of Canada in 1939. After that, the tiara once again disappeared into the royal vaults. Today, it is part of Queen Camilla's collection, having been given to her on long-term loan after her marriage to King Charles III. Yet, the tiara remains unseen by the public, only making an appearance in the catalogue of the Victoria and Albert Museum's tiara exhibition in 2001. The Teck hoop necklace, which can also be worn as a tiara, is another heirloom from Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck. Created in the 1860s, this necklace consists of 22 diamond hoops with central diamonds and was originally worn as a necklace. It became one of the Duchess's key pieces, often paired with the Teck Crescent tiara. After Mary Adelaide's death in 1897, the necklace was inherited by her eldest son, Prince Adolphus, the second Duke of Teck, and later the Marquess of Cambridge. Eventually, the necklace made its way into Queen Mary's collection, though, like the Crescent tiara, she was never photographed wearing it. While she favored many of her royal jewels, this particular piece seemed to remain unused by her. However, her daughter-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, found a creative way to repurpose the necklace. In 1937, she had the diamond hoops mounted on a frame, turning it into a tiara. She wore it in this form at the Royal Variety Performance in 1937 and 1938, pairing it with Queen Alexandra's wedding necklace. The combination was especially elegant and fitting for such formal events. After World War II, Elizabeth donned the tiara again for a performance at the Royal Opera House in 1946. She also returned to wearing the necklace in its original form, notably during a ballet performance at Covent Garden in 1956. The next royal to wear the necklace was Princess Margaret, who likely received it as a wedding gift in 1960. Margaret wore it exclusively as a necklace, pairing it with various tiaras, including the iconic Poltimore tiara. Throughout the 1960s and beyond, this necklace remained an important part of her jewelry collection, making appearances at significant events such as Jamaica's independence celebrations in 1962 and the Belgian state visit in 1963. After Princess Margaret's death in 2002, the Teck hoop necklace was not included in the famous auction of her jewels. Today, it belongs to her son, David, 2nd Earl of Snowdon. Unfortunately, the necklace has yet to be seen in public again, and with David's separation from the Countess of Snowdon, this historic heirloom may remain out of sight for many more years to come. The Duchess of Cambridge's pearl pendant brooch is one of the most valuable pieces in the British royal family's collection, passed down through generations. It features a large, round pearl surrounded by diamonds, with a Baroque pearl pendant. Made by Gerard, the brooch entered the royal collection in the 19th century. Its first owner was Princess Augusta, Duchess of Cambridge. She wore the brooch in a portrait painted by Heinrich von Engeli in 1877. After her death in 1889, the brooch passed to her daughter, Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck, who also wore it alongside other family jewels. When Mary Adelaide passed away in 1897, the brooch was inherited by her daughter, the future Queen Mary. Queen Mary frequently wore the brooch, including at the christening of her granddaughter, the future Queen Elizabeth II in 1926, and later at the christening of her great-grandson, Prince Charles, in 1948. Following Queen Mary's death in 1953, the brooch was inherited by Queen Elizabeth II. From the 1970s onwards, it became a key part of her wardrobe. The Queen wore it in official portraits, during state visits, and at other significant events. The brooch's elegance and simplicity made it a versatile piece for both day and evening wear. In 2022, when the then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge unveiled their first official portrait, Catherine chose this historic brooch for the occasion. It was a symbolic gesture, highlighting her connection to the previous Duchesses of Cambridge and her respect for royal traditions. Next, let's take a closer look at another remarkable jewel, the Duchess of Teck's flower brooch. This stunning brooch features a central floral design set with large diamonds and 4 pendants, all connected by a diamond chain. It is believed that Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck, inherited it from her aunt, Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester, a daughter of King George III. After Princess Mary Adelaide's death in 1897, the brooch was passed to her eldest son, Prince Adolphus of Teck, but later came into the possession of his sister, Queen Mary. In 1923, Queen Mary gifted the brooch to her second son, the Duke of York, as a wedding present for his bride, Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. The future Queen Mother wore the brooch from the beginning of her marriage, often pairing it with her lotus flower tiara. Throughout her life, the Queen Mother was frequently seen wearing this brooch, especially in the 1970s and 1980s. It adorned her outfits at events like Royal Ascot, banquets, and her annual birthday celebrations. One of its last significant appearances was in 1998 at the 50th birthday celebration of Prince Charles, just a few years before the Queen Mother's death in 2002. After her death, the brooch was inherited by Queen Elizabeth II. Although it hasn't been worn as frequently as other royal jewels, it was notably featured in a portrait taken by Lord Snowdon in 2010 for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012. The next jewelry that deserves attention are the pendant earrings of the Duchess of Gloucester, whose journey into the British royal family began back in the 19th century. The Duchess of Gloucester's pendant earrings feature exquisite diamond frames from which large pear-shaped pearls dangle. These earrings originated from the collection of Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester. After her death in 1857, the earrings were passed to her niece, Princess Mary Adelaide, Duchess of Teck. Princess Mary Adelaide soon wore the earrings to the wedding of Victoria, Princess Royal, and Prince Friedrich Wilhelm of Prussia in 1858. She usually wore them without the diamond frames, pairing them with other family jewels, such as the Teck Crescent tiara and a diamond hoop necklace. After the Duchess of Teck's death in 1897, the earrings were inherited by her daughter, Queen Mary. In 1947, she gifted the top portion of the earrings to her granddaughter, Princess Elizabeth, as a wedding present. Elizabeth wore them on her wedding day to Prince Philip and continued to wear them frequently throughout her life. After Queen Mary's death in 1953, the pendant portions of the earrings were passed down to Elizabeth. By then, the pendants had been paired with separate diamond studs, effectively creating two distinct pairs of earrings. Both sets remained part of the Queen's collection. Another jewel from Mary Adelaide's collection with imperial heritage is the Emperor of Austria brooch. She received this gift in 1870 from Emperor Franz Joseph of Austria to mark the christening of her third child, Prince Francis Joseph Leopold Frederick of Teck. Interestingly, Prince Francis's father, the Duke of Teck, had trained at the Austrian Military Academy and served in the imperial army during several wars. This likely explains why Emperor Franz Joseph was chosen as the godfather for the child of British and Württembergian royals. Though the brooch has Austrian origins, historians suggest it may have been made in England, possibly by the firm Garrard. The brooch features a woven circle with a central pearl surrounded by 12 diamonds, from which 3 detachable Baroque pearl pendants hang on a chain. Princess Mary Adelaide frequently wore the brooch in the 1880s, including for a portrait by court photographer Karl Jägerspacher. After her death in 1897, the brooch was inherited by her son, Prince Francis. Unlike the Cambridge emeralds, however, the brooch was not bought back by the royal family, but was passed to his mistress, Lady Kilmorey. As per his will, the brooch eventually returned to the royal family after Lady Kilmorey's death, being inherited by Princess Victoria, the sister of King George V. After Victoria's inheritance, the brooch became part of Queen Mary's collection. Later, Queen Elizabeth II wore this brooch on many important and formal occasions throughout her reign. One of its first notable appearances was in 1964, when the Queen wore it for official photographs celebrating the birth of her fourth child, Prince Edward. Since then, the brooch has regularly appeared at significant events. In 2011, the Queen wore it to a state banquet during the visit of the U.S. President, and in 2015, It appeared again at a banquet during her visit to Germany. Another significant piece in Princess Mary Adelaide's collection is the Teck turquoise tiara. This jewel, created around 1850, originally belonged to the Duchess of Teck, Queen Mary's mother. The tiara was part of a parure that included a necklace, earrings, and several brooches, all set with turquoise and diamonds. In its original form, the tiara featured a prominent central peak. The parure was gifted to Mary by her parents, the Duke and Duchess of Teck, as a wedding present in 1893 when she married the Duke of York, the future King George V. Although Queen Mary often wore the set, she was photographed wearing it only once, soon after her wedding. In 1912, she had the tiara's central peak removed, softening its design to resemble a Kokoschnik-style silhouette. In 1935, Queen Mary passed the turquoise parure to her new daughter-in-law, Lady Alice Montague Douglas Scott, upon her marriage to Prince Henry, Duke of Gloucester. The set, which included the tiara, bracelets, brooches, rings, earrings, and necklaces, became one of Alice's most worn jewelry suites. She frequently wore the tiara and its accompanying pieces for public events. By the late 1970s, Alice passed the turquoise tiara to her daughter-in-law, the current Duchess of Gloucester, Birgitte. She has continued the tradition, wearing the tiara for formal events. As we've seen, the jewels of Princess Mary Adelaide have a rich history that continues to sparkle in the British royal family to this day. Which piece stood out to you the most, and which of these treasures would you love to see worn by a royal in the near future? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through royal history, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, share it with friends, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about royal jewels. Thanks for watching.